Samsung A90 5G smartphone was launched in 3rd September 2019. The phone comes with a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED touchscreen display with an aspect ratio of 20:9. It is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 7nm processor. It comes with 8GB of RAM. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Samsung A90 5G on the rear packs triple camera setup consisting of a 48MP main shooter and a 8MP ultra-wide lens along with a 5MP depth sensor. There is a 32MP camera on the front for selfies. This device is based on Android 9.0 Pie and packs 128GB of inbuilt storage. It is powered by a 4500 mAh battery with 25W fast battery charging support. It was launched in white and black colors. The Samsung Galaxy A80 has a premium glass design with a metal frame running around its circumference, which feels good in the hand. The phone comes with a 6.70-inch touchscreen display with a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels. With a full HD Plus resolution and Super AMOLED panel, the display on the Galaxy A80 is bright, clear and colorful, which should be bode well for gamers and Netflix viewers. Samsung Galaxy A80 is powered by a 1.7 GHz octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G processor that features 2 cores clocked at 2.2 GHz and 6 cores clocked at 1.7 GHz. It comes with 8GB of RAM. Samsung Galaxy A80 happens to be the first smartphone to launch with a slider mechanism along with rotating camera. The whole point of the rotating cameras on the Samsung Galaxy A80 is so you can utilize the same great cameras on the rear of the phone on the front. The main 48MP sensor is the default camera available to you when you open the camera app. But it's easy to switch between it and the 8MP ultra-wide camera, which allows you to fit more into your shot. The third camera is a 3D depth sensor providing excellent background blur for the live focus mode, which defocuses the background of your shots while keeping the foreground in focus. Overall, this smartphone is an amazing piece of technology, specifically for those who love gaming and passionate about smartphone photography. The Galaxy A71 brings an excellent amount of upgrades over its predecessor. This device is a pleasure to hold and use. The display is a 6.7-inch AMOLED panel. The display is beautiful as well. All the AMOLED awesomeness is present, such as vivid colors with the option to switch to a more natural look, deep blacks, wide viewing angles and excellent brightness levels. Thanks to the Infinity OS screen, the bezels have been reduced and the punch hole for the front camera looks better than the U-shaped camera cutout we saw on the Galaxy A70's display. The A71 is sleek and light. There is a plastic on the back, but the phone feels premium while not being slippery as a phone with a glass back. The in-display optical fingerprint sensor has been improved as well. It's much quicker and more accurate than last year, even more so than the theoretically superior ultrasonic in-display sensor on Samsung's flagships. Naturally, facial recognition is supported and it works well most of the time. It is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 8nm chipset coupled with 6 or 8GB of RAM depending on the variant you buy. Performance in day-to-day use is excellent, there's barely any stutter or lag, and all of the graphically intensive gaming titles run well. This phone have quad camera setup. The Galaxy A71 64MP primary camera takes 16MP photos using pixel binning, and when the lighting is right you get really beautiful pictures. There's a lot of detail in daylight shots and good dynamic range. Color reproduction is also faithful to real life in most cases. Nighttime shots come out noisy or grainy, although the dedicated night mode tends to focus on increasing the detail in dark objects rather than controlling noise levels. The 12MP ultra-wide camera takes better photos than the A70 was capable of, at least in terms of the detail captured. The A71 also has a 5MP macro camera, which is a great addition to this setup, and the last one is 5MP depth sensor. You can record 4K video at 30fps and 1080p super slow-mo video at 960fps. On the front there is a single 32MP camera for selfies, which delivers great picture quality. It is powered by a 4500 mAh battery with 25W fast charging support. It has impressive battery life and can get you up to 2 days on a single charge with light uses on Wi-Fi and a little mobile data, and a full day if you are a heavy user who tends to play games, watch YouTube videos and do other power intensive things on their phone. If you travel a lot, the A71 has excellent endurance even when used as a hotspot. First, the A51 is light, really light. Samsung has always done a good job of building featherweight phones that still feel well made, and the A51 is proof of that. Its 6.5-inch display is nearly 2 inches larger than the 4.7-inch panel inside the Apple's new iPhone SE. The A51 display is flat, which is actually a breath of fresh air from the curved panels in every modern premium handset. It's hard to put my finger on, but a flat screen simply feels simpler to use and easier to live with. The A51 is attractive with its super slim bezels and a display that perfectly follows the silhouette of the body. But it gets better, the A51 has a headphone jack. One of the best things about last year's Galaxy A50 was its AMOLED display, which is a luxury typically reserved for more premium devices. Rather than use a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor, the A51 comes with an in-display optical scanner that works well most of the time. Rather than using one of Qualcomm's mid-range 600 or 700 series chipsets, the Galaxy A51 derives its power from Samsung's own Exynos 9611 CPU and 6 or 8 GB of RAM depending on the variant. The A51 excels at games. For a budget handset anyway, you can play most of the popular games without any problem. You might expect 1 or 2 cameras from a $400 phone, but the Galaxy A51 has 4 on the back. A 48 megapixel wide-angle primary shooter supported by 12 megapixel ultra-wide, 5 megapixel depth and 5 megapixel macro optics. A 32 megapixel sensor serves selfie duties on the front. That's a whole lot of megapixels, and when conditions are favorable, the A51 can pull in a lot of detail. We like the A51's depth effects. The ultra-wide shooter shines when the sun is out. There's a surprising level of detail overall in Samsung's shot and good dynamic range as you move from shadows to daylight. Well, so what about the night shots? Well, you would think the A51 would be better equipped for such scenarios because it has a night mode, something Apple's cheapest iPhone lacks. In complete darkness, the shots it captures are not that great. You can record 4K videos at 30 fps. Pictures taken with the selfie camera delivers great color and details. Samsung has used a 4000 mAh battery into the Galaxy A51. That big battery plus the A51's hardware being optimized more for efficiency than all-out power should guarantee exceptional battery life. This device also supports 15-watt fast charging. Samsung Galaxy A50 have curved back and light build. It offers excellent in-hand feel. The panel is dominated by a stunning nearly edge-to-edge display with a U-shaped notch on top and a slight chin at the bottom. The rear panel has a glossy glass finish, but it is actually made of polycarbonate. The phone comes with Infinity U Super AMOLED screen that just looks fabulous. It has a full HD+ resolution with 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. The screen is bright, vibrant and seems well calibrated. The Galaxy A50 display also comes embedded with a fingerprint sensor. The Samsung Galaxy A50 is driven by an Exynos 9610 chipset. Samsung's in-house developed chip is based on 10nm process and comprises octa-core divided into 2 quad-core clusters. The chipset is coupled with Mali G72 MP3 GPU to meet your graphics requirement. Galaxy A50 unit featured 4 GB of RAM. The Galaxy A50 consists of triple camera system as one of its major highlights. Samsung has once again opted for a 25 megapixel primary sensor with 1.7 aperture, which is coupled with a 5 megapixel sensor which have 2.2 aperture and an 8 megapixel wide angle sensor which have 2.2 aperture also. For selfie lovers, there is also a 25 megapixel camera which have 2.0 aperture placed right inside the U-shaped notch. The design is cool, AMOLED display is good quality, the One UI software is better than what most other Android brands have to offer, and battery backup is excellent. The day-to-day performance should be good enough for average users over a longer period of time.